Hey everybody, this is Ozark Prepper 1. Finally a day that's not rainy or snowy. That was a dead stander. But I guess we could title this video, "What Are You Chasing?" You know, what brings you happiness? Does a family bring you happiness? Do material possessions make you happy? Do you have to have an oversized home, oversized vehicle, and struggle to pay for it just to put on a show when you have an encounter with people you know that you don't associate with very much anyway? Or do you find happiness with a like-minded individual? You know, I think that the happiest people on earth are usually the people with the least. Because those with the most, in most cases, didn't acquire what they have by being gentle and respectful to other people. I think the happiest people you'll find in your life are those two people that run into each other and they can't see the flaws each other have because they are attached to that brain and a person's I don't know, another person's view of the world aligns with theirs. But I see people now, because of the social media age, they are dead set on trying to be the boss at their company. They're trying to have the newest vehicle, the nicest home in the newest subdivision. And in many cases, they'll throw their own family under the bus to get what they want. Trust me. A lot of these people are wasting their time and energy because in the long run, they don't understand the economy, the value of the dollar, what even backs the dollar. And they don't understand real human interaction. Everything is fake. They put on a fake persona around their friends. And I'll give you an example of this fake persona that I'm talking about. If you've ever been to a baseball game, there's always those overhyped sports idiots. And they're cheering because some other guy hit a ball. You know there's a lack of something else in their life. Or an overabundance of possessions. When really, what that person probably needs is a like-minded individual on the things that really matter. You know, the average human being in this country would max out about 70. The working class anyway. About 70, and many of us have health problems and we die. A lot of us before that. And if you fall for Big Pharma's tricks, you might leave earlier. But in that time we're here, you think these people would want to have maximum happiness, or maximum peace anyway. That's something I threw up about 10 years ago, and it's still there. That's a place to run and hide in case there's ever an attack on the home. And it's not just a place to run and hide, it's a place to fight. Take out the intruders. But back on topic, what do these people really need to be happy? Because we're in a time now where, you know, 100 years ago, 120 something years ago, the year 1900, America was in a booming phase because it was after the Civil War and those little French and Spanish wars. So the world was relatively at peace before World War I. And America experienced a great buildup. And at the time, our population was 50 million people, around that. So there was a lot of resources left. There's a lot of trees, a lot of unexplored land, a lot of unsettled land, and people built lots of amazing structures. And during the 1950s, after World War II, it happened again. They built these subdivisions, nice, clean neighborhoods. Everything looked like Leave It to Beaver neighborhoods. And there was a general happiness. As far as races, people pretty much self-segregated. They allowed who they wanted in their home. And nobody judged anybody for it. They just did their thing. But during those times, people could leave their doors open at night. And the only thing that would come in might be an animal. But now, it's not so cool. You can't really do that anywhere. Even if you do lock your doors, sometimes you have trouble. But right now, there are people that are so focused on building, buying this and building up, leveling out 20 acres to 100 acres of trees that are never going to be there again in 3 lifetimes. In 3 lifetimes, they won't even be half as big as they are when they cut them down. And I'm all for regular management of things. But to just go in and wipe out a place and turn pristine nature into an open field when we have plenty of those. There's no shortage of fields. I would say that we are on a timeline of doom. Unless we do something different. You know, maybe start planting some trees somewhere where there are none. It would be great. And maybe curb the explosion of population that they say isn't occurring. You know, the media will get on and say that our numbers are dwindling, or our population reproduction levels are low. I don't believe that. Traffic says otherwise. Traffic says otherwise. Go to any store to go shopping somewhere. It says otherwise. They're all crowded. All these places are crowded. Even in the middle of the week, no matter what time of day, even every average gas station is crowded. Go to any home improvement store. It's crowded. And it's all because these people are chasing something that it's just trying to impress their neighbor or outperform their neighbor in their mind. But what does it all really boil down to? It goes all the way back to the primitive. It's like the caveman wanting to impress the cave woman. And he says, look at how big my cave is. Look, there's a giant stream in front of my cave. And it's the same with housing today and vehicles. Everyone wants to be the big person so they can impress the girl of their dreams. And the girls do the same thing. They try to do what they think is trendy. But what it all boils down to is this: it doesn't matter. The best way to be is natural. You don't have to look like a clown to attract a guy. And you guys really don't have to buy a mansion to attract a girl. You just need to find the same person with the same mindset. They're out there. It's just we have social media that's flooded with all these crazy people that are lost and they're chasing things that are not going to benefit them in the long run. You could take two people, let's say they're in their mid-20s, and if they truly like each other, they would live in a tent or a camper and be happier than a person living in a $2 million home in a subdivision. You can ask any FedEx person or UPS or any type of driver, delivery driver, pickup driver. They will tell you the poorer neighborhoods are the most friendliest and they tip the best. Now, if a person that's wealthy is a humble person, they will give you a large tip. But most of the cases I've seen, they don't. It's the poorer neighborhoods that are the most generous. And it's because they are happy in their life. You find those couples that have been married for 50 and 60 years and they're still playing jokes on each other and stuff, just like they just met. That's the way things are supposed to be. And in this country, that was taken away, and in Europe, it was taken away. And it was done intentionally. It just wasn't. It's not something you can actually blame the individual for because they were brainwashed as a child. You know, stuff crept in the 1960s. You know, we watched through the 1970s, 80s, and 90s, and 2000s. We watched all these TV sitcoms where they portray the man as a idiot while the wife's got everything under control, you know. So children grew up watching that, and then that was embedded in their brain. So you have a whole generation of kids that grew up, young men that grew up, thinking that women are smarter than them and more capable than them, when that's not so. There are women out there that are more intelligent than the majority of men. There are some women that are, but flip it around the other way. There are more intelligent men on earth than there are women. Let's say IQ level, way up there. And that's not to be an insult, it's just the way we are. And that goes back to the primitive also. We had different tasks. And it required different thinking. Had to figure things out or starve, you know. And you know, the men fought the wars. They had to figure out how to defeat the enemy. They had to outsmart the enemy, dating back thousands of years. And the women didn't have to do that. They were back at the village or wherever they lived, still tending to the children and the sheep or whatever. Anyway, that's been a nice Sunday story. So look around at some of these people, and when you see them at the car washes and places like that, waxing their vehicles and wearing shiny, nice clothes and stuff, and ask them what they're chasing. Ozark Prepper 1 out.